Peter Ndiaji, representing Castle.
My name is Papa Man, representing Castle.
Everyone, my name is Jnr.Marsh
Jnr.Marsh
Thank you very much, contestants. So we will begin with Castle. So you have 5 minutes for your opening statement. So each team has 5 minutes for their opening statement. So Castle will start, and you have 5.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. This topic is very important because it has engaged a lot of media debate, and I'm happy that we are here to talk about it today. Talking of the MMDCEs, or the Metropolitan Municipal and District Chief Executives, they are the highest political authorities. When we go to the grassroots, they are the highest political authorities. And we all know that these are the authorities that deliberate at the local level, they legislate at the local level, and they also have executive powers. In this arena, it's clear that these authorities are direct representatives of the president. That's the executive at the Flagstaff House, so be it in Ghana here. Now, the topic in question suggests that should they be elected or should they be appointed? The College Students Union is of the notion that these people should be appointed because of so many factors which we will be bringing up during this debate. Now, we realize that our metros that we have in Ghana here, they are about 250,000 plus. Then the municipal assemblies too, we have about 95,000 plus. And the DCEs too, we have about 75,000 plus. And these are huge numbers. And thinking about all these things with the population is what I just mentioned. Now, with the metropolitan assemblies that we have, they are 6. Then the municipal, they are about 46. Then the district too, about 162. Now, thinking of it as electing them is going to pose so many problems, and it's going to be so inimical to the development of our country. Now, looking at the composition of the district assembly itself, you realize that the MP is a cardinal member of the district assembly. The heads of the electoral areas are members of the district assembly, and the DCEs too. Now, the president even has the prerogative to co-opt 30% of this number to join the district assemblies. By virtue of our constitution, of Ghana being a unitary state, prohibits the government or the incumbent government to give such a power by going that way of election. Now, Ghana is a sovereign and unitary republic that has a chief executives whose direct rep at the grassroots is the municipal and metropolitan chief executives. So let's just take the first one being on the broad light. The municipal or the MMCs, they must be in bed with the president. Because just imagining in a case where the ideas of the incumbent government is not in tandem with the rep at the local level. Let's just imagine the chaos, the confusion that is going to happen in our country. Thinking of the partisan nature of our political terrain in Ghana here. So it's very important, and this is supported by virtue of us having a unitary state. This is supported by the Article 4 of our Constitution. So we can't go in contravention of our own 1992 Constitution, and that is very important. Now, the second one is that the political ideology and the vision of the incumbent government must be straight in line with that of the local reps or the MMDCEs. So there's no way that we can say that they should be elected whilst they don't have the same ideology as the incumbent government. I also like to say that the third point that we are trying to raise is that the infantile stage of our democracy. Now, most of it we try to copy or look at developed democracies and we do learn from them. Now, when we talk about America, they have such a state whereby this decentralization allows for the election of their local reps. And we should just think of what they go through. America's democracy is over 200 years. And they've gone through so many things to get to such a stage. Ghana, we all believe and we know that our democracy is at the infant stage. We are growing, and such an ideology will not help so much. Now, we all know of Professor Kwame Nkrumah, that he is somebody indispensable when it comes to talking about decentralization in Ghana and implementation of our own decentralization in Ghana here. Dr. Awad stated that we shouldn't hasten in any way to foster such an ideology now. So if such an authority who is revered by all government who have ever taken the throne in Ghana is saying such a thing, then we should know that he's saying something. Because we have a local adage in our Kan language that say Odenchem if you see us ever come be chirawa. And say because a whole not here. Now this man has been at the grassroots, he's been involved in our decentralization process, and he is saying that we shouldn't hasten in any way. So this is a straight caution that we should be careful that we don't implement such a thing now, and our democracy as at now is not in the right shape to adopt such a method. We should also think of the polarized political nature of our country by virtue of it being a very partisan one. So let's just imagine in such a way that the DCE is in bed with the opposition party, then the government is also a different government in power. Just imagine. So it's very important that we shouldn't rush this issue of the election of the municipal and district chief executives in our country. The last one I would like to say for now is that the idea of sabotaging and vice versa is very, very important. So we can't adopt such method. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kasu, for your presentation. Clearly, they have stated that they are for the appointment of the district chief executive. So we will now proceed to our second group, ASGI, for the next 5 minutes to give us a presentation on the issue.
Thank you very much. For some time now, the debate has been whether it is prudent for MMPCs to be elected or appointed. We all know in our constitution in 1992 that in Article 243 that they are supposed to be appointed. Looking at our democracy now where we are, we see that the local government structure has been a very crucial tool for grassroots participation in the political dispensation in Ghana through the decentralization concept. A district is a part of an area or unit which forms an administrative, which is used as an administrative purpose. We here as ASGI are standing for the motion that election of DC is very, very prudent for Ghana's democracy to go on. Why do we say this? Electing MMDCs will deepen Ghanaian democracy. Why? Because it will make the concerns of local people the focal point of the work of politicians at the grassroots. As a leadership training ground for people who stand for those positions. By setting ordinary people at the local level, we endow our nation with a pool of experience, elected politicians with proven track records, from which some of these who serve at the national level can be selected. It will also end the negativity that the winner takes all mentality, which is killing the development of our dear motherland Ghana. Local communities will also feel empowered politically and finally feel able to take their own destiny into their own hands for every 4 years or so and maintain the share of their democracy. MMDC's election will ensure that chief executives are directly accountable to them who selected him or her, not to the appointed authority. We will see that in a survey by Seeker in 2004 showed that majority of both the past and sitting MDCs would want the DCs to be elected because they feel insecure in their positions because it's through appointment. If they are to be elected, they will feel secured and non-partisan. And in that way, they will want to plan effectively. And they will be able to plan effectively in their doings. What are some of the things that they do? The MMDC is precise over meetings of the executive committee, the assembly, is responsible for the day-to-day activity of the district, and he is the chief mediator between the president and the district. So with these functions and our opinion on what the MMDCs are, we as KSDI stand for the motion that they should be elected rather than appointed. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So, can we, as contestants, can we as much as possible stop using all electronic devices? We want to go straight to we want to go straight to according to the initial ruling of the Supreme Court. So we will go one. So we will probably expect paper presentations, not electronic presentations as well. All right, so we will go with the young Marshallans after the KSGI has presented their position, telling us in clear terms that they want the district chief executive to be elected. So, young Marshallans, please take over for the next 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. My brothers and sisters in Christ, the motion before us is DCEs and MMCs should be elected and not appointed. And I stand on behalf of the Jnr.Marsh to clearly state and to stress on the fact that we stand against the motion. That is, we are saying they should not be elected and they should be appointed. Recent time, there has been such hullabaloo about DCEs and MMCs being elected and not appointed. I would like to enlighten some of us who don't know the full meaning of DCE and MMC. DCE simply stands for District Chief Executive, and MMCE for Metropolitan Stroke Municipal Chief Executive. Now, what do we mean by decentralization? Decentralization is simply breaking the government or the central government to the grassroots, the local, so that they feel belong, they feel that they are welcome to have decision on the nation. Now, the whole idea of decentralization brought about the need for dividing the country into districts. And so, the government of Ghana and development partners recognize that federal progress on decentralization reform will require a more comprehensive policy strategy and are developing initiatives and achieving these aims. In 2006, the government of Ghana removed the number of assemblies in the country to 138 assemblies. In 2008, it was moved to 170, and as of 28 June 2010, it was moved to 126. So as of now, we have 216. As of now, we have 216 district assemblies. Now let us see the legal basis of local government. Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, 1992, which provides that district assembly is the highest political authority in the district, and that the district assembly has a deliberative, legislative, and executive power. The composition and the duties of the different types of district assembly are prescribed in the Local Government Act of 1994. The main legislative texts pertaining to local government are Civil Service Law 1993, PNDC Law 327, Local Government Act number 462 of 1993, National Development Planning System Act 480 of 1994, National Development Planning Commission Act 479 of 1994, District Assembly Common Fund Act 455 of 1990. Excellent. Now let us see how the local government structure in Ghana is. And we have the central government, and it is made up of the president, council of ministers, council of state, and then the unicameral parliament. Then below that we have the territories of Ghana, which I know you are all conversant with. Moving down, we have the local government. And the local government comprises the metropolitan, municipal, and district. And before an area can be noted as metropolitan, it should have over 250,000 inhabitants. Then for an area to be municipal, it should have over 95,000 inhabitants. And for a district, it should have over 70,000 inhabitants. Under the metropolitan, we have sub-metropolitan district, and below them we have the town council. Then below the municipal, we have the zonal council, and below the district, we have the urban or town council. Now I look to the composition of the local structure, and I read from the 1992 Constitution, Article 242, which states that one person from each local government electoral area within the district elected by universal adult suffrage. Other members not being more than 30% of all the members of the district assembly, appointed by the president in consultation with the traditional authorities and other interest groups in the district. Article 243 states that there shall be district chief executive for every district, who shall be appointed by the president with the prior approval of not less than 2/10 majority of members of the assembly members present at the meeting. Okay, now the function of the district assembly are here and in our next, when we talk again, you enlighten you on the function. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So we go to the last contestant, that's the young apostles. So he will present.
District chief executives and metropolitan district executives should they be elected or appointed. We members of the Muslim stand by the fact that the district executives should be elected rather than appointed. First of all, I'd like to indicate if they are elected, they tend to formulate policies and thereby be accountable to the people of which they are representing at the grassroots level. At the grassroots level, mostly we see that when people are not elected and appointed by the government, that is the executive arm of the government, they are rather acting in an autocratic way, thereby depriving the state the opportunity to establish the democratic credential of the country. If democracy is tarnished at the very top, then how much more the grassroots, whereby the direct access of which the people who have to the government is being diminished. There should be a channel to which the people would exhibit their right to vote, their right to democracy, their right to liberty, their right to show to the government that this is what they really want. And if the person who is being appointed by the government is being rejected by the people, it's going to cause a lot of developmental stagnation. That is, the community will not be able to develop the very purpose of which the community will not be able to do what they really want to do. That is, the infrastructure development, be it education, health, social amenities, and so on. Also, if the district chief executive is elected, he can be able to be transparent in the sense that the district assembly common fund is going to be monitored by the very people who elected him to power. The administration of the common fund and the allocation of it is going to ensure that the people really know what they want. And if their petitions are being heeded by the government, they are going to apply the common fund for the well-being of the people. And also, from the Constitution, Article 240, which stipulates that, 240 Section 1, stipulates that the President appoints a DCE by a true consultation with one-third majority of the assembly members, district assembly members present, and who are present and voting as at that time. This appointment is in contradiction with the very essence of democracy in the country. If, like I say, a weak democratic institution is better than an autocratic decree, thereby diminishing the very essence from the grassroots, whereby election and voting has always been the means of establishing a better institution. How can people be accountable to the very people of who never voted? In this case, I would like to state the fact that the young apostles are of the opinion that district chief executive should be elected rather than appointed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all five contestants, all four teams for wonderful presentations. Clearly, I could see some of the audience were educated by some of the points raised. So, we now move to the next phase, where I will be asking the various teams a couple of questions and trying to elicit answers from you, which will help the judges better assess the quality of the stance you took.